Yeah, kick me out.
Then just join me. Good evening, Spray Wash Academy. So Ray will be joining me here in just a few minutes. He's having a little bit of technical difficulties back there. He decided to have his do the show tonight from his house, and so he's having a couple of technical difficulties, and he'll be joining me here in a minute. But anyhow, I want to talk about. We're going to talk about several things based on the internet, and before I start that, I wanted to start off with don't forget about the huge convention coming up. And one of the things I wish I had done, I wish I had grabbed Carlos Gonzalez's course. Carlos Gonzalez is going to be doing some more. Oh man, I'm just tongue tied. Gas station training coming up here pretty soon, and I think he's just about sold out or just about being done with it. And but he's got several of them going on, so I just wanted to make sure that y'all knew that that was coming up. If you're not into gas station training, or if you want some gas station training, definitely reach out to Carlos. And I mean, who better to get gas station training from than Carlos Gonzalez? So anyhow, and again, Ray will be joining me here in a few minutes. We got Michael J in here. Good evening, and Mr. Anthony, good evening. So tonight, when Ray gets back in, we're going to talk about basically the internet and how important is it to your business, and is it important? Can you grow a business without it? There's been some stuff back and forth online here lately about that, as well as there's been some questions about do you just bid from the internet? Can you do that? So we're going to talk about all of that, kind of get it all boiled down. And here's Ray coming back in. But so again, don't forget, we got the huge convention coming up in August, and we'll have links to the classes. We'll be sending out an email. If y'all haven't sent us your email, do that. Send it to info@spraywashpro.com and get into anything that we send out to you. And we'll be sending out something with all the links for the classes for the huge, as well as discounts for the huge and things of that nature. So August, what is it, 17th, 18th, and 19th is the huge convention in Nashville. And for those of you that also don't know, there's going to be the in Cabo. What is Carlo? What is that called? I'm brain farting tonight.
That is the oh my gosh, you gotta go, buddy. Good night. Say good night to the world, buddy.
Industry Cleaning Summit. That's what it's called.
Good night, everybody.
Another good one. That is in Cabo, and I think that's a week or 10 days in Cabo.
Good night.
Hey, good night, Mr.
No, come on.
You just got called out.
Who got called out? I did.
Yeah, he said good night, booty head, to you.
Duty head.
Yeah.
Oh, there's fighting words, boy. I get it.
All right. I apologize for the horrible camera work and all that, but it's been one of them. So, and Doug, I was listening to the intro you had on there, and I apologize, but y'all hear my voice coming and going right now. I made it through the dogwoods, the azaleas, the oak trees, but now the pine trees and their devil's dandruff has got me just, my voice is coming and going. I'm sneezing like crazy, and it's rough. So
I think that you're what did you say it was causing the voice thing, the main one?
The devil's dandruff.
Devil's dandruff. Did you know that that's been renamed?
Yeah, I know. That's not the devil's dandruff I did whenever I was in college.
It's called COVID.
Oh.
And then the other ones you were saying, the dandelions, they've been renamed to COVID.
Yeah.
And then the other ones were what did you mention? Yeah, COVID. That's right. It's all COVID. No, I'm glad we're over. I'm glad we're over all that, right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Actually, I just saw in the news that one of the big cities is considering putting, I think it's Philadelphia or something. Even was talking about more mask mandates again. So.
Yeah, I'm done with the mask mandate.
But whenever you were talking about what we're talking about tonight, I think one of the things that that we ought to talk about, and God forbid that, Scott Torsis and Scott Stone, if they chime in, both people are running multi-million dollars that probably have never had websites before.
Yeah.
They're outliers in this industry. I mean, I can always, as my statistics professor used to say about, what about the pink zebra hiding in the bushes to throw your statistics.
But on that, you've got to also remember that they've been in business a long time.
Yeah, right.
So,
exactly.
That's part of it, where you can if you have a reputation that precedes you, it's not as.
Well, I know, I totally agree. I completely agree. So, but but the other thing too, that any of this internet stuff is just it's a part of a plan. It's a marketing plan. It's a marketing strategy. It's this, and then you never want reliance too much on one thing, whenever your website isn't going to sell jobs for you. It might help.
It might help get you some jobs.
Yeah, but you're the one that sells the jobs. And we'll get into that in a minute, whenever we talk a little more.
I would go that your website can sell jobs for you. If you've got a good website and you've got good contact info on there, and there's lots of guys that you can even book jobs right there. The customer can book jobs on the website. So it is possible, but that's not the norm. You don't normally see that.
Correct. Well, and I'll go ahead and discuss this part, and I'm like literally on Tanya's laptop instead of mine, because I've been doing this, from the store the past month or so. So I'm so turned around on this computer, but so kind of jumping ahead in tonight's show, but sometimes the over reliance on this technology can really be a killer for us. Because I talked to a young man today who's been washing, and he's a great story. He literally had a golf cart in his neighborhood whenever he was 15 years old, and a pressure washer that he was too young to drive, and would drive around in the golf cart, pulling a little trailer and knocking on doors and getting the stuff. And part of the discussion that we had today was, hey, these guys were talking about the websites, and in fact, he asked what we were going to do the show on tonight, because he's a watcher of it, and he said, you need one, but too many guys are relying on it, and can it help you? Yeah, you can. And we got into discussion on advertising and Groupon and things like that, but the reliance on the website can be really a killer. And somebody that I do a little, I love what Anthony Finelli just said. It's all a funnel. It's all a funnel to a message or call, which is you to close the deal. Absolutely. A very, very good, a very good friend of mine who I do a little, friendship coaching with. He's a big proponent of one of the automatic bidding systems that's out there. And we were talking, this is a solid year and a half ago, but he was bemoaning the fact that his business was down a lot. And I said, I'm going to guess that I know what's happening here. You're relying on this technology that that's beautifully written to automatically and responsibly
bring you business
out these jobs for you. I said, when's the last time you've said, and when's the last time you've actually physically sold anything? And he said, Ray, you're absolutely 100% right. He said, my reliance on the technology and the software is cutting into my closing ratios and is cutting into this. And I'm seeing it at the bottom line of my business.
So I want to address this one real quick. If you're talking about the Zoom chats that we do, we actually weren't doing the Zoom chats. We were doing this instead. We will be doing some Zoom chats and all that. And for those, yes, you'd have to be a pro member to get in on any of the Zooms. We haven't started those because we started taking care of most of our stuff here out in the open in doing the podcasts and all that. So hope that answers your question there.
Oh man, but this, and so that's what a lot of people consider this technology thing about, and it becomes a crutch. It becomes an absolute crutch, and they think, well, if I get an amazing website, or if I spend all this money on Facebook ads, or if I get great SEO, that's going to be the magic bullet for my business. And Doug, what's a magic bullet?
There is no magic bullet, period.
Yeah.
You have to take a combination of so, well, let's think about it this way. What is a bullet, right? So, I mean, when you think about a bullet and the magic bullet side of it, you have to have many parts of it, right? You have to have the casing. You have to have the round itself. You have to have the powder inside. You have to have the primer. Then you have to have the weapon to fire that bullet.
Yeah.
Right. And then that weapon has all kinds of different parts.
There's a whole lot of stuff in there together. Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not, if there is a magic bullet, it still takes all of these other pieces to fire that magic bullet.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there and you're thinking about, and let me go this direction with what Ray is saying, is that the internet is something that I mean, in today's day and age, if you're starting out, again, we're throwing out the Scott Stones and we're throwing out the Scott Torseys and all that because they've been in business for so long. I could throw out Cajun Softwash. Cajun Softwash no longer needs the internet to stay busy, right?
Because doesn't need it. They would probably
it is its own
fine without the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you look at this thing, there is at least, okay, we got lead, we got copper, we got powder, we got a casing, we got a primer. I mean, there's at least 8 parts of this, bullet. And if any one of those parts fail, this doesn't go boom out the thing you shoot it out of. So yeah, it's why they call it a marketing plan, a marketing strategy. A strategy typically involves more than just one thing. A plan typically involves more than just one thing,
Yeah, and then on top of that, I mean, so there have been discussions that you can build you can grow your business without the internet today, and I yeah, but you're going to take a long time to get there. The internet, you in order to be in business today, you pretty much need the internet. You need. I don't want to say you need it. I mean, you can do it without it, but you're going to do it so much faster with it. I mean, sending out proposals, you're going to probably use the internet, right? Or viewing things online sometimes, you're going to use the internet, whether it's on your phone or it's on a laptop or it's on a desktop or whatever, sending out emails. I don't know of anybody in business, I don't know of anybody anymore in business. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think I know, well, no, even he does, that doesn't use the internet in some fashion, whether it's even if it's just emails, right? I know several business owners that don't use Facebook or social media.
Well, the question that we saw in one of the groups this weekend was, do I need a website? And it's like, yes and no. You should have a website out there, but is your website going to make you famous and successful? No. Can you be famous and successful without it? Yes. Should you have one? Yes. Yeah. I'll tell you what you probably shouldn't do, though, is you shouldn't go and spend oodles of money on one. You shouldn't go and pay for ridiculous amounts of SEO just by doing the bare minimums and getting out on forums and talking and posting your website and getting interactive on Nextdoor and always having your email in your tagline, and even doing the Facebook forums and your website and your tagline. You can really develop pretty darn good SEO. And if you're balling on a budget, you can get out there with GoDaddy. I mean, I had the top ranked site in Tallahassee for years and years and years, and it was a GoDaddy site, and it was all completely organic, and it was all completely homemade, because I'm the guy that made it.
What round was that you were holding up?
Oh, that was a 300 blackout.
Yeah, okay. Somebody was asking if it was a 22 Magnum.
Yeah, no, 300 blackout.
Yeah, there you go. So, I think when you look at these things nowadays, and I mean, again, you have to use all of them, right? Or you should use all of them. So Ray and I, you and I have had the discussion in the past about, if you were to start a brand new company, right, in a town that you don't even know, and all that kind of thing, what is one of the things that you would do? And that wasn't the internet. It was actually going door to door, doing that's what you started, and that's what right? And so you can absolutely do that as part of your arsenal in what you're doing to build your business. But you still, I don't want to say you need, I'm trying to stay away from that word need, but you need the internet. I mean, in business today, if you are new to business, especially, you need it.
You need a respectable website. You don't need a 10, 12, hell, $5,000 website. You don't need that. I mean, hell, you need to act, you need to get on the Google My Business. You need to there's lots of things that you can do to help market yourself.
There are lots of guys that are using Facebook as their website.
Yeah,
I think you still need to have a website, but it's a Google. You can buy a domain name and point it towards a web page, which could be Facebook.
Shouldn't share that on here. I'll get canceled.
Oops.
What Gene is saying, pick a single service, then learn everything you can about it. Everything. What are the customer's problems? How can you fix it? How can your company do it better? It's pretty simple. Be a tradesman that knows their business.
Right.
Gene, 100%.
We see a lot of guys going 100 different directions, and that's great if you've got the manpower and all that to do it. But most guys that I see going 100 different directions, they don't focus on one, and they all of them end up faltering.
Yeah. Well, or they stay, we've had it, we talk about this in class. Who gets paid more, the specialist or the generalist on there? Typically, whether it be doctors, cars, boats, prostitutes, the ones that do the special things typically cost a little bit more,
Well, I did.
And I don't know that, but it just sounded really good at the moment to say that, honey.
I don't partake in any of that. No,
but
I have no idea what
that becomes a huge, thing that's, because I mean, we were commercial and large project specialists, and me being a specialist in that didn't preclude me from doing about 25, 30 houses a week also, residential houses. So, just because you specialize in something doesn't mean you can't go
do other things,
something else as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of not even really where I was going with it, because you get guys that they do the exterior cleaning and then they do painting at the same time. Well, those two kind of go together anyhow, right? And then you get guys that do exterior cleaning, painting, and then they throw in some roofing. Okay, well, that kind of fits in, but and then you get guys that do exterior cleaning and painting and dog walking and all these other kinds of things, and they're picking too many things that are not even in the same realm.
The jack of all trades, a master of none scenario there.
It makes it harder to focus on what you need to focus on. Though some people
Daniel Howerton chimed in earlier that he flies to go do all of his estimates in person. For those of y'all who don't know Daniel, where was that comment? So Daniel Wash, for anybody that I helped him with the equipment down there and went and did some consulting equipment wise for him. But the SeaWorld Doubletree Orlando, where I know Jamie Schmidt and Gene O'Neill, they had their event there, Power Wash Door. We've always had our events there. Most washers that go to events are familiar with that hotel. Well, Daniel washed that building in March. And then they had a sister property in Florida as well, in the Florida Panhandle. He flew down from Raleigh, North Carolina to the sister property to give an in-person quote. Now, He certainly could have looked at the pictures. He's got a great in at the property because it's the same ownership group.
You didn't have to do that.
But do you realize how powerful that is whenever a man flies in from another state and they believe this is they need a specialty washer, because they really did need a specialty washer at the 17th story, Hilton or Doubletree SeaWorld. So he's now down there. I mean, you could have handled that by email and Google Maps and all, but
send me some pictures, would you?
Yeah. I mean, think about how powerful that is whenever, when the guy said, okay, let's meet at 9:30, and he shows up, from 3 states away at 9:30 on the nose at the front desk, for his appointment.
Yeah. And, that might be the extreme, but that's a commercial property, and he's working with a commercial client that he worked for in his area. And now he's doing it for basically the same client in another area. What is that going to do? That's going to open up doors for him. Even if he doesn't win that particular bid, he will be asked to go, which he did, right? He did win that bid anyhow. And then he'll be asked to go do other. You never know where that's going to go.
You want some utterly valuable knowledge that you're not going to learn most other places. Most nice hotel, especially if you're with a flag, very few hoteliers only own one property.
Hotel, yep.
They
own multiple.
They own multiple ones, and typically in multiple areas. And if you get in, there's several groups that we've done 4 and 5 hotels for here in Tallahassee that they own, that they're not competing with each other. They're just different flags that they're working with, and they own them in multiple states and in multiple cities. And, the list goes on and on and on.
Well, if you think about it, in a lot of businesses that happens, right? Where you'll have, as an example, just to throw it out there, you might have spray wash exterior cleaning. Then you might have spray wash window cleaning. And then you might have, spray wash pressure washing.
Right.
You might have, and those are really divisions. I shouldn't say it that way, but you might have several different companies that all complement each other, that are, and they could, in that essence, they could even be competitors when you think about it, right? So if you own spray wash exterior cleaning, and you own Cajun soft wash, and you own Elite exterior cleaners, and they were all in Tallahassee, right? They're competitors, but they can all service different.
They feed off of each other as well, too. I mean, what MTH is saying, he was going to start a few different things, and they screw it. I don't want time being spread thin, with nothing to do with the end goal. Absolutely, but I totally agree, because unless you are building 3 distinct separate businesses versus trades, then whenever you get for your exit plan, you may have a very substantial gig. You may have a very substantial, income from it, but nonetheless, you're still kind of a handyman without necessarily being a specialty. I would say, though, the difference of that is somebody I really admire and respect, Joe Devenow, where, Joe and I were talking, we were sitting there having a couple of drinks several years ago at a thing. He's like, I don't want $1 million cleaning business. What I want is a $400,000 cleaning business. I want a $300,000 holiday light business. I want a $250,000 bounce house business. And I want a $200,000 photo booth business, so it
I want lots of different businesses. He wants a funnel,
right?
A funnel all coming to one spot.
100%, Ryan. And that's where the website is important, because as you get out here and you do your old-fashioned marketing, these guys see you. It legitimizes you. You're not relying on it, but it gives legitimacy to you. But you're not saying, well, I got this tool that's going to do all my work for me. 100%.
There's a key point here in something that he's saying too. And for me, it all boils down to what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Because the reality is we're all not trying to accomplish the same goal. Again, we talk about this all the time. Some people are just wanting that one truck. And To be honest with you, some of those you might the average ticket for the area might be $100, and they're at 1,000. You know, and they're only getting one job a week, but that one job a week pays. I mean, you know, that's it depends on where you want to be at. But what he's saying here is that present yourself as a professional, and you'll close more jobs. And I can tell you by going out and wearing the correct attire and having the professional looking truck and having, you know, all these different things that all tie together. Your paperwork ties to your shirt ties to your hat ties to your truck. I mean, all of it comes together as one. Your website presence, your Facebook presence, your LinkedIn presence, your Google My Business presence, all of them tie together. You're going to look more professional, and that's going to help you close jobs, period.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, Doug. I agree. You know, and it's again, it's why they call it a marketing strategy, a plan, a thing that you know. There's lots of different, you know, things that dovetail into each other.
And Michael, the good thing about what you're saying there, roof cleaning, power washing, paver sealing, that's it, right? Tried adding pools, and it was spreading us too thin. But the point to that is that you recognize you're trying these different things. And once you get to the understanding that, hey, this is spreading me too thin, you bailed out of that. That's the right way to go about it, right? Because now you're trying
that's
different
the smart
things.
part.
Yeah,
I love that. Hired employees and I post it to every Facebook group. 100%, absolutely. You're one of the rare ones, you know, that actually found an employee.
You found a good employee. Yeah, well, that you hired an employee, or did you hire a good employee? And yeah, that's a hard thing to find nowadays.
What? Hey, Pink, how are you doing? So Peter Drucker said, concentration, focus of force is the key to economic results. No other principles of effectiveness is violated as constantly today as a basic principle of concentration or focus.
Yep.
Then he said that. I would completely agree with that, because, you know, we all squirrel, you know, and we kick off and we're being bombarded with so many different things, and it's real easy to lose the focus that we have. It's really easy to lose the focus.
I'm just going to stay a Facebook user.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, it makes me immediately, you know, who I think of when I think of that, I think of Scott. All right, well, I'm just gonna
So, Gene, I thought that was my secret to landing HOAs. I asked the property manager for a contact person on the HOA board and meet someone and address their concerns in person. The board always makes the final decision. It's about the relationships.
Absolutely.
You know, the gentleman I was talking about today, and he said, you know, keep in mind, I haven't sold a pressure washing job in, I don't know, a while now, but it's been a minute. October of last year. But he said, you know, he's coming over. He's getting a lot of people responding to him. Oh my God, what an amazing!
That's an awesome one, yeah.
Is that not just an amazing quote right there?
That is an amazing quote. I love that. We both saw it at the same time. Did you put it up?
No, but I see Armando wrote something in Armando. Clients like a company that do several services. That way they don't have to be hunting different companies. 100% right there too. You know, cleaning and janitorial. I mean, lawn care and pressure washing. Mm-hmm. Now, and I also believe that this is different than me being a pressure washer who offers landscaping or a pressure washer that offers pools. I think at this point you're setting up separate, you know, because I know Armando, whenever you did it, you set up separate entities to act as a referral base back and forth to each other. And they have, you know, you just can't handle managing that all yourself. So whatever you do solid, now it's easier to do the offshoots of that and make other little solid nuggets, you know, kind of like looking like an ad or a, you know, something with horns and tentacles growing out of it. It's a lot easier than trying to be the one guy with a couple of helpers that's encompassing everything.
Even if you sub out that extra work, I mean, when you have a really, really good client, like one of the things I'm saying is don't try not to branch out too much and go too thin and do all these other kinds of things. However, if one of my best clients comes up to me and says, "Hey, do you know anybody that brushes dogs' teeth?" I mean, my answer is going to be yes. Okay. I may not know, but I'm going to find somebody to take care of that for you. Right. And I'm going to make a little bit off of it, but I don't necessarily care about that. Yep. I care about making sure they get taken care of so that anytime they need anything, even if it's getting a dog's tooth cleaned, right, that they're going to contact me instead of going someplace else to maybe have somebody else get their foot.
Absolutely.
I want to solve their problem.
What Jason said, and I love this. Anyway, somebody said, letter the logo of the truck this week to gain more professionalism for the business. Every step you can take in that direction, do it. 100%. Mm-hmm. Jason, this is the quote that we both saw.
Yeah,
net
saw
worth is your net worth. 100%.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would drop my mic, but I don't want to have to buy a new one.
Yeah, exactly. And adding on to what he said, we're a full cleaning service. Do house cleaning, commercial cleaning, post-construction cleanup, high pressure cleaning, everything goes together. 100%, and you've done such an amazing, you've built such an awesome, company there. It's really impressive what you got. So,
Gene, you're too old for everything.
But yeah, and Gene agreed. At some point, you have to say, wave the white flag and go, oh, hell, no more, because Tanya and I got into a lot of very heated, discussions on there of, well, somebody.
It's why I didn't end up opening a power wash store is because I don't want to work that damn hard anymore.
100%. 100%, but what I was going with here, and this is where I really want people to take note of this. And I know, Gene just talking about meeting the head of the HOA or somebody on the board, for a contact. How important is that? That's amazing. That's still the selling. We're not relying on the technology and the internet. These are tools. I've got an axe out there by a wood pile and that axe is not cut any wood on its own unless I'm swinging it. It's not doing anything. I got a gun cabinet filled with guns there. They're not out killing people. I swear to God, I even leave that thing unlocked every now and then just to see if those guns will get out there and go kill people. And none of them have ever gone out and strayed off on their own and shot anybody. It's really, really, really weird how, and I hear that the guns are the problem in this nation because all mine are really good and they haven't done anything. So,
and I think some of them drink.
Some of them do drink. I've actually found a liquor bottle in that gun cabinet before.
Toppled over.
Any of these tools are only tools, and unless you use the tool, it's useless. It's absolutely useless. But as we were talking, to this young man, and this dovetails into what Gene was saying. He said, "I'm really getting a lot of people who are saying, what do you mean you can't bid online?"
You can.
And I was like, that is the biggest gift from God you have ever received for closing great sales. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I don't understand why that's a benefit to me. I said, because I'm going to literally sit here and say, well, you're getting a lot of bids just from people, looking, I guess, at Google Maps, Mr. Homeowner. To me, that is so strange because each property is unique and you don't know if that paint is oxidized. You don't know the condition of the roof. You don't know, a lot of these Google photographs are 5 and 6 years old. I don't know if you have, and keep in mind, I'm naming them by
absolutely.
I don't know if you have Nandina, boxwoods, or roses over there. I don't know the status of your electrical that may need protection on there. How are the seals around your electrical outlets? I said, you really can't determine that from looking at a Google picture that might be 5 or 6 years old. Is your house painted one of those Sherwin-Williams blues that may be reactive to bleach? We don't know these things. If we're talking about a roof cleaning, I'm going to tell them, I probably turn down about 30% of the roof cleanings that come in because honestly, if your roof is degranulizing very well, very, very badly, rapidly, and it's at the end of its lifespan, I would rather you take the $500 to $700 that it's going to cost you for your roof cleaning. Keep in mind, I've soft pitched a number, and apply that towards your future roof replacement, because sometimes it doesn't make sense to even, wash a roof if it's at the end of its lifespan.
And there's a key point on that where you'll get the customer that can do a couple things for you. First of all, the customer might say, I still want to get it cleaned. Okay. But you've already done a couple things. You've already planted a pseudo price in their head, but you've also
done a soft
established that you are a professional and that you're honest. If they move on to, I still want to get it cleaned. If you don't sell that job, I'm really shocked, because they already trust you because of what you just said.
Right. I mean, that's, Anthony, that's 100%. These networking groups are so important to be a part of. Mm-hmm. So important to be a part of.
Going back to what you were saying too about that whole, internet thing. So just for me in my business, what I would do is every single job we would measure let's just say it's a roof job, even if it's just a house wash or concrete, whatever, we did look at it online first, right? And it gives me an understanding of what it is that I'm going to look at. So I would come in, I would have all my sheets laid out, and I would open up every single address that I had to go look at that day. Okay, I didn't measure anymore. I didn't any of that anymore, but I still took a look at each and every one of them, and I got myself an idea of what I was going to charge so that I could have an intelligent conversation with them. And if I go out there and I see that things are different, or just like Ray said, they bring up, hey, the other people are bidding it online, and I can close that right then and there. Okay. I can use that. Well, just so you know, I happen to look at your pictures today, and I noticed that the picture was from 2015, and I noticed that the shutters were there, and I noticed that the shutters are gone, or that the shutters are a different color, or that you added this copper, or that you've completely redone your landscaping, right? These are important things that need to be addressed in the cleaning process, and that's why we come out to make sure we're getting this right for you. I'm gonna outsell the guy that's just doing the
absolutely, the guy that's just sitting there using the automated bid thing, or just going to Google and tossing out a number, because, or at least I'll tell you who you're going to close. You're going to close the people that want to spend money and give a crap about it. You're going to close the customers you want, and you're weeding out because then they can easily look. I'm just looking for a low price. Awesome, cool, good luck. Not going to be me.
Yep. That's why you also set a minimum price, and we talked about that today online. Yeah. Your minimum price, you can use that as a gauge, right? So we had a minimum $350 for a house wash and a minimum $450 for a roof, and very rarely did we ever have a $450 roof, just setting that straight, or a $350 house wash. But we're able to pre-qualify those clients. They're throwing those out to us. Hey, I'm just looking to get some quotes. Okay, great. Just so that we know right off the bat, we do have a $350 or a $450 minimum. And when would you like to go ahead and schedule your appointment, kind of a thing? And they'd be like, oh, $450. Wow, yeah, that's too much. Okay, great. Well,
you're not my customer. And it's fine. Or we have an economy plan.
Save me a lot of time.
Here's an idea. Whenever you have those customers like that, say, you know what? We have some economy plans that we can work you on. That's going to be a will call service. Like literally, if I have a gap in my schedule, we can come out and wash it. We'll let you know if we have a cancellation or something, and keep those guys on a short list, and we'll try to get the service done for you within 30 days, and we can do it for a discount. Because of you, I will give you a discount doing that. If you wanted to do that, there's no way in hell I'd do that during the spring.
You can also take that same angle and say, look, what we can do is I can maybe do that price for you in January if you're willing to wait. If you haven't had it done by January, I can set you on a list. Would you like for me to call you, around that time? Because we're slow at that time anyhow, and we can fit jobs in at that time.
Well, when you were doing the roof warranty and the roof warranty work, the lifetime cleaning warranty, that was you were really doing a lot of that stuff then during those winter months and the cold seasons, weren't you?
Well, yeah, we fit those in year round for the most part, but and the design of the limited lifetime warranty really was to be a chance to upsell.
Yep.
Plus, if the guys are out and they're doing a job, doesn't matter what it is, and let's say they're on their way in early, and maybe that truck only hit $1,200 for the day, maybe it can swing by and do two retreats and pick up 150 here and 150 there. Now we just really upped our profits for the day, and it's an easy thing for the guys to do.
And FYI, and hey TJ, what's up, buddy? And by the way, I will not be on the broadcast next week, next Monday. That's going to be all Doug and whatever wonderful guest he has, because I will be with Mr. TJ, my wife, and his lovely wife Grace in another country somewhere.
Yeah, another country.
In a tropical country. So
in a tropical breeze.
Yes, on a trip that's literally 3 years in the making. So,
and I've seen the pictures. TJ doesn't wear much, and you know
it's hard to look at, but he is cute. So
there you go. And
what's really disturbing is the underwear that he has with my face on it. So that's really just.
I am going to try to line up one of two different types of attorneys for next week. Believe it or not. I think we've got some things we need to discuss in this industry, and so I've got a couple of lawyers that I'm talking with. Some of it's going to be about contract law, and some of it's going to be about employee law. So one of those two is what I'm hoping to be able to share with y'all next week, interviewing an attorney. So anyhow, there you go.
You know what Mitchell just said, when you're up front with them and try not to get them to waste money, you'll win every time. 100%. 100%.
And I cannot tell you how many times I've told homeowners, I mean, we were there to start the job, right? And then you go up and you start looking, here's the better part. My guys call me up. And they say, boss, I sent you some pictures. Would you take a look at them? And I look at the pictures and I say, yep, it's exactly what you think. Then they go down and talk to the homeowner, not me. They go down and talk to the homeowner. Hey, look, I feel like your roof is just about into a point where it needs to be replaced. And so if you'd like, we'll pull off the job and, no charge for you, that kind of a thing. I cannot tell you how much work that's generated for us. And I can't tell you how many times they say, clean it anyhow. Right.
Yep.
I mean, some of it, I think they even know that they're, throwing away the money in a way, but they're doing it because we were being completely open and honest.
People do business with people they like, know, and trust. Yep. I mean, it's just the truth. They're either that kind of person or they're the coupon shopper. And if they're the coupon shopper, it doesn't matter if they like, know, or trust you. They're going to leave your ass for another coupon, for $1 cheaper. Hey, Mark, hope you're doing well up there, buddy, and your spring is kicking off.
Not only that, but sometimes you get those people that, so say, well, I want to go ahead and clean it because I'm looking to sell my house. Okay. So I have a standard comeback for that, right? And that really boils down to, okay, well, that's great. So here's a couple things that you should think about. Educating those clients makes them so they're buying another house somewhere else. They're more apt to use me, and it happens all the time. But I'll simply straight up tell them, well, okay, this is going to do one of two things for you. We can clean this roof. We can make it look a lot better so it's got better curb appeal. But it's also really highlighting the fact that it needs to be replaced. So if they hire a roof, if they hire a home inspector, the home inspector comes out, it's going to be more obvious to him that it needs to be replaced. Okay. And you might end up with patchy spots because of the granular loss that you already have. So saving a little bit of money here might help you give back to the purchaser, in closing costs, whatever. And I know a lot of guys that I've talked to, they're like, man, I wouldn't do that because I'm giving up business. Why would I do that? That's stupid.
See, I'm more than
thinking about business today, not tomorrow. I'm going to get more business and referrals from that customer than that one job means to.
Absolutely. 100%, I mean, if the home inspector says you need a new roof on there, it doesn't, and certainly we've been able to help a couple of sellers and realtors, because I've heard it too many times going, golly, this roof looks brand new. I mean, what, y'all must really take care of this roof. And the roof is, 13, 14 years old, but they wash it every 3-4 years. That's important to do. But at the same time, I mean, if the roof has reached its lifespan, cleaning it or not cleaning it isn't really going to help it that much, I mean,
I want to touch on this one just one. So TJ put this in, just ordered new swimsuit. So just so you know, his swimsuit came to my address instead. TJ, look, I don't think this is going to be enough, buddy. I had to, right?
Oh, no. I'm the one that has to, because I've got to be on a boat with him and sitting on a beach with him with a freaking G-string and a sack like that covering it's disturbing, and it literally looks like somebody has stuffed an anaconda in a yo-yo bag, and it's
this discussion is disturbing.
Oh, it's horrible, man. It's horrible.
There you go.
Let's see here. So I bid stuff online. 80% I do in person, especially if it's multiple services. I go to see the little things that the other guys miss. 100%. And I'm not saying, did I bid everything? No, good Lord. I mean, at Spray Wash, we would literally, in the springtime, we would be getting 60 to 80 requests a week. I did not have time to go out there and do that. There were plenty of them that, our old customers didn't really have to go and rebid those properties on there. We'd talk, hey, have you done anything different to the house? I mean, thank you for being a repeat customer. We're going to get you a little discount for being a great repeat customer. Thank you so much. Boom, bada bing, bada boom, done. Other stuff, if it's in a certain neighborhood where I know that the houses in Southwood are typically going to be in this price, or a certain unit of Southwood are going to be in this price range, and do that, then, I'm going to, I may do just roll the dice and put, 20% on top of that and do the Google bid on there, because there's just not time for all of it.
And again, this is where I'm going to throw out that minimum price again sometimes, because sometimes I come in and I'm like, I got 30 estimate requests in front of me for the day, and I'm like, holy crap, how am I going to do? I don't have the time for this right now, right? So I sit and I go through every single one, and I say, okay, this is a cheap job, this is a cheap job, this is a cheap job, or I feel confident with this one, or one of the ones, like, let's say the house was just purchased, okay? So the house had been for sale, the people just bought it, and there's a bunch of pictures online. I can still sell that job without going to it. I can call up that customer and say, hey, Mr. Ray, just want to let you know, this is Doug Gore, Cajun Soft Wash. I was able to look at all the pictures online because you just purchased this house, correct? Right. Yeah, you just purchased. Okay, great. And then I can have that discussion. To
you bring up a really good point. With technology nowadays, if you go in there to Zillow and Realtor.com and any of these online listing services, if there's been a real estate transaction in the last 5 or 6 years on that house, there's an extensive amount of things. Go back to Gene's comment before I hit Mark's. I want to talk about this. A lot of jobs you quote without seeing in person. Absolutely. And part of that comes with knowing your market as well, too, because you understand the HOAs, you understand the neighborhoods where there are going to be those requirements, and they can't get them, they won't get that dirty out there. You know that you have an expectation of, what the relative size of the house is, what the relative dirty level of the house is. Mm-hmm. So you're free to do the bidding online. 100%, I agree with you there. But that also comes with the experience of knowing your market too.
And just like he's saying, he already knows. I mean, for lack of a better word, when the phone rings and they say I'm in XYZ neighborhood, Gene already knows that that's a sold job.
Yeah.
Because that's coming from what? It's coming from referrals from that neighborhood. So it's virtually a sole job anyhow. And he can say, oh, yeah, I did the Joneses house.
They call you up and go, oh, yeah, by the way, we're your HOA's cleaner of choice. We're the guys that come in there and do all the curbs and driveways once a year, or we're the guys that do, the clubhouse and blah, blah, blah. That's really, really, really powerful, info to have on that. So anyway, what was Mark saying about whitewash brick? That's an interesting one. Boy, you don't put pressure on that, do you?
Yeah. You got to watch that. And like where we come from here in South Louisiana, where there's virtually no rain gutters, the very bottom brick turns black, right? And so when they've whitewashed that and you remove that clay stain or that mud that's on there, you don't have any whitewash on there anymore a lot of times. So knowing that and being able to discuss that, because if I didn't go there and look at the house, or I didn't know, or the online image shows a red brick house and now they've had it whitewashed, I didn't know that when I show up. Or worse yet, I don't do jobs anymore. So my guys go out there, they think I looked at it, they go out and they wash. Now all that whitewash is gone on the bottom. Guess who has to pay for that? I do, right? That's why I like going out. And whitewash can be a very specific thing that needs specific touches.
So having and Michael, having different plans keeps customers coming back, referring neighbors and friends. We've been improving our plans to make them fit more desirable clients and make them better educated customers.
Absolutely.
100%.
I talked to somebody once before, this has been a long time ago, that called me stupid basically for educating customers. Why would you do that? That's just stupid. They don't need to know, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to tell you what, I outclose customers that are educated. And let me go this direction. If you go out to bid and you don't think your customer is at least a little educated, you're probably wrong a lot of times. Because the World Wide Web, that's what we're talking about tonight, right? They type in software and they find all these different things. They educate themselves.
They think they know.
And they educate themselves incorrectly.
Yeah, that's why I said they may not know. They think they know, but they don't. And that's why, when, as we said earlier, well, I don't know if your house has, boxwoods, azaleas, Nandina, roses, things that are really, really plants that are really reactive. I don't know what your electrical situation is like. And that's where all of a sudden they're going, oh, wow, I didn't think about those things. Or maybe they have seen that online and they're like, hey, this guy actually does know what he's talking about.
Wait,
I think I want to deal with him.
Pressure, you just spray water, right? That's all there is to it.
All there is to it,
I just educated you on that's not all there is to it.
I mean, MTH, gutter cleaning has generated so many wash jobs. That $180 average climbs quick, And guys, y'all realize there are companies, because I know a lot of guys talk about this company up north, but there are companies, multi-million-dollar companies that do nothing but gutter cleanouts, or they may pressure wash as well, and they typically are washing the bad old-fashioned way on there. But their companies are built, and somebody help me out. Is it Ned? Somebody, it seems like it's coming to mind, but massively huge chain gutter cleaning, a company that's out there.
I'm not sure who you're talking
about. The thing is, they don't install. I mean, their thing isn't about, I'm not going to say they don't install, but their thing isn't about installing. Their thing isn't about fixing. It's about cleaning gutters,
And it's about cleaning the inside of the gutter, not even the outside.
Not even the outside of the gutters. Hey, RPC, what's happening, buddy? Hope you're doing well tonight. Oh, man. Yeah, I can feel I am losing my voice real good here right now. So
there you go. I'm going to go off topic here a little bit. And
I just said that, and I think I literally just heard Tanya cheer a little bit.
Yeah. So I won't get too deep into it. But, something with my wife that is sticking out to me with us and everybody in their businesses, right? And that is, my wife is kicking butt doing something that she really likes to do, right? She started something new about almost 2 years ago now, I think. And her tenacity, her drive, her verve. Everything that she has and that she's putting into it and focusing into it is greatly paying off her. Even if she were to quit doing it tomorrow, I'd still be super proud of her. And my point to that is this: if you're going to go into this industry, or you're going to go into any whatever it is that you're going after, and you go after it half-hearted, or that's you're gonna reap what you sow, right? 100%. So if you don't really put much into it, you're probably not going to get much out of it unless you just happen to get lucky, right?
Yeah. No, that's the investment of life, right there. 100%. You reap what you sow. Sterling made a great comment here. Assuming the customer doesn't know is insulting their intelligence, and listen to them as they may point out something valuable and give you a hint to another opportunity of an upsell.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, 100%. It's Tanya and I would be at meetings, and she'd be side kicking me, like, shut up. Because I get really happy and I'm really excited, and I'm wanting to talk about spray wash and what we do. And sometimes it's shut the heck up and let them talk and let them explain their needs.
What do people like to talk about the most?
Themselves
and their stuff.
100%.
And I'll even go this way with what he's saying here, right? Assuming the customer doesn't know is insulting their intelligence. Sometimes the customer does know, and they're not going to tell you that they know because they want to hear what you have to say. And if you're lying to them and they do know, guess what? Yeah. They're just going to smile. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate the estimate. Now, please, if you don't mind, there's the door. Get the hell out of here. And they're going to do it nicely, politely. You're not going to have any idea that they're kicking you out the door, and you've got the best service at the best price, whatever. It doesn't matter to them. You lied to them.
So, I learned this the hard way by coming up with the company. And I used to always tell people I love doing the door hangers whenever I started out. And man, I would drive around, and this is kind of dovetailing into what Gene O'Neill was talking about. But I would be sitting there putting my I'd see a dirty house, and it was like, stop, run up, knock on the door. Nobody answered. Okay, put the door on there. And I can't tell you how many of those that I did, and I got no calls from these dirty, filthy, nasty houses.
But they need my service.
They need me. But, you look at every other house around them, and they're clean or relatively clean. Well, hold on, guys. There's a reason that one house is really filthy, nasty, dirty, disgusting, because they're never clean it. The other houses are in the exact same temperate zone. They're in the same landscaping. They're under the same tree canopy.
Everything.
They're clean because they clean them every couple of years. Talk to their neighbors. Don't talk to the filthy house.
Not only that, but keep in mind, when you're driving around, you see somebody with a manicured lawn and all this kind of stuff. Those are the people, sometimes they just flat don't know. They don't know you can clean their roof or their windows or their gutters or, whatever the case may be, right? But if you have a well-manicured lawn, or they're outside washing their car physically at that moment, boom. These are people that care about how their stuff.
They care about appearances. They care about, I never did this ad during my tenure in the industry, but I always wanted to. And most of our communities have this, but we've talked about this a couple of years ago over in Spray Wash Pro. In Tallahassee, they have Tallahassee Magazine, and I'm sure they probably have Baton Rouge Magazine, and they put it in doctors' offices, and they mail it out free to the better zip codes in the area. And if you look in there, it's mainly a lot of fluff pieces. And no insult at all to the, but not in-depth investigative journalism. It's about quality of life in Tallahassee or in Baton Rouge. And you look at all of the ads in that magazine, and it's all weight loss, vascular surgery, breast augmentation, and it's high-end jewelers. It's all appearance-based advertising.
Absolutely.
And I always wanted to do a before and after of a roof on there in a nice neighborhood and say, what are the neighbors saying about your roof? Because so many times we get blind to how our roof looks because it just gets dirty, and to kind of smack him in the face like that and say, holy crap, I haven't looked at my roof. Is it nasty and is it disgusting? I would love to look at that. What was Mark saying about the Japanese maple, about taking care of it and the
last week I did a house wash with a 12-foot Japanese maple right next to the house. Not only did we put water on before and after, we soft brush all of the siding within 10 feet either side of the tree to make damn sure the house mix did not get on that tree. The customer was so happy they paid us an extra $50 for that, and I landed a $550 job from the neighbors because of our attention to detail.
We've always said that about the Tyvek.
Absolutely.
You think the neighbors notice? They do.
Sometimes it may not need it, and you do it anyhow. I've told this story before. I remember once doing a job, and I was wiping down the front storm window, the storm glass door, wiping it down, and I could see in the reflection through the window this lady walking by, and she was looking. And so I kept on going, and she kept looking at what I was doing, and I got really into detail, and I'm detailing this thing, but I'm watching her, and she just keeps watching the detail that I'm doing, and then turns around, takes a picture of my truck with the phone number on, okay? Because she saw the extra care and detail that you're putting into it. Sometimes Tyvek wasn't about the actual protecting of the plant. It was about announcing to the neighborhood, this is a corner house or on a main drag or whatever. I want people to see who's doing what and that we're taking care of the property.
Customer, I have an irrigation stains on my yellow hardy board siding too. No problem. We'll have to do a test spot while we're there. We'll discuss with you prior to moving forward. Do you think that conversation will sell job? Yeah. Be a tradesman, not a pressure washer.
Not only that, but they have to look at that spot, that clean spot. If they turn you down, they got to look at that clean spot.
Yeah, and better yet, in this modern day and age and technology, you could sit there. If they're not home, you sit there and make a perfect picture of it, test it. Hey, Mr. Johnson, we did this test area on there. We've got the perfect way to get this cleaned up. Can I, are you available to receive a text? Let me know. It's going to be $250 to get this removed for you. Yeah, well, send me the picture of it. Boom, and it's there, and yeah, you just banged out an extra $250 for spraying a little F9, on the bottom of this property and neutralizing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What up, Mr. Mark?
Mitchell saying, put your door hangers on the clean houses. So sold a champagne restoration to an upscale neighborhood, and people went crazy for what is now our annual plan. Repackaged to fit the clientele. Absolutely. A lot of us will sit there and say, your house doesn't need to be washed once a year. Your house doesn't need to be, your concrete doesn't need to be done every. I had a couple customers, and we were on their schedule every 6 months, and I literally felt like I was going out and cleaning clean houses, and I was. And there was part of me that was like, I can't do this to these people. And there's another part of me going, yeah, this is what these people want. They want their houses to be spotless. It doesn't matter. Get over your opinion in things. It doesn't matter what you think. It matters what they think,
Absolutely. I want to tackle this one from Gene next. Gene, I have an answer for you. So Gene says, I'm trying to get the logo on the Tyvek. The smallest order I can find is 8 pallets. Gene, I can tell you how to fix that problem. And that is go to a local printer. They have the print machines. Take in your own Tyvek, right? And fold it in half because the Tyvek comes 150 foot by 9 foot. Fold that in half. They can print on that Tyvek for you at a local printer. Run it through, print it out. You're good to go. Done deal.
Wow. That's good info right there.
Yeah.
Mitchell, have a good night, buddy. Thank you. We appreciate your participation in this. Always.
Always.
Guy. Mitchell's got a great company up in Tennessee.
In Tennessee. which will be there in August as a reminder for the huge
Yeah, sure, for the huge convention, won't we?
19th.
Absolutely. And we'll be
And if
talking
y'all are interested, we're going to do
property protection.
a live
That
class
was
here
where we
in,
first started
Tallahassee.
talking about Tyvek.
Go ahead.
We've done a lot of firsts in this industry, Doug. Something I'm
Yeah.
really, really, really proud about that, you know?
Yeah. You know, I was talking about that with somebody here not too long ago, and you know, it's funny that things get kind of pushed to the side, and you know, some of the things that we have introduced to this, you know, pressure wash, soft wash community, and you know, the things like we talked about before, like with the proportioner, and you know, bringing that thing to market with Tim Aselton. You know, these are things that sometimes get sidelined, and then you know, a lot of the stuff that we have brought to the industry that we're those that know, you know, give us credit for it. I don't necessarily care, but it's there's so much that we've done, and there are so many new people that are bringing different things, and you've got to listen to those ideas, because a lot of times recently Dale Johnson, right? Dale Johnson is bringing in those the strips that go across the ground, right? None of us were really doing anything like that. He's promoting that, and that's a really good thing to be doing.
No, it's
right?
a wonderful thing to do. You know, and anytime we can have safety and keep stuff from 100%, you know, I absolutely love it. You know, when Tim Fields first started doing those sandwich boards and stuff, you know, I mean, golly, I thought that was amazing. Yeah, yeah, that's not going to be me in the G string. That'll be TJ in the G string. So, yeah, Mark, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's
schedule something.
We're actually currently, you know, and MTH said, and this is where we have to get out of our own heads, MTH, getting out of the mental hurdle about washing clean stuff, because that's not our job. It's our job to do what the customer wants to do, not what we think should be done.
If the customer wants their house cleaned every single month, so be it. I'm going to come out every single month and I'm going to clean that house.
Mark, we appreciate you. And I don't know who that is, but you have no idea. You just have no idea. Pray for me.
There you go.
Pray for me. He showed up in St. George a couple of years ago, and he literally had the one with the bow tie on it, with a strip down, going down to here, with a little cod sack and a G-string up his rear end. I mean, it was disturbing.
You keep going back for more, so it couldn't have been that disturbing.
At one point, we were on the boat, and this is when we were staying local. We had rented a beach house down at St. George, and we had our boat down there. And he's like, "Hey, I'll get the anchor." I'm like, "No, you steer. I'll go up there and get the anchor. I don't need you bending over."
How does that go? TMI?
Terrible, I tell you.
Yeah.
But, you know, I tell you what, I am blessed. This industry has truly blessed me. As with some of the greatest people I have ever known, and some of the funnest people, and people that would literally, you know, give you a kidney if you needed it, or half a liver. More likely need half the liver, but you know, just you, TJ, Mark, Gene, you know, Michael Ovens. I mean, people that I've met, and I don't mean anybody leaving out, just people that are last few comments that are up on my interface. Just
there are guys that I haven't even met yet.
Truly, there's some of them that I haven't even met in person that I feel I have relationships with, and we've spoken on the phone. You know, Daniel Howerton's one of them. I mean, that's no, unfortunately, it's TJ is who I'm talking about, Scott. TJ Koloff. Scary, bad man.
There we go. There it is, Building Wash, North Carolina.
You know, there's so many amazing people in this industry, and I feel, you know, and I don't know if other industries do what we do here in this, and I know we're a little bit insulated with what you and I do, and we've never been the kind to go out there and I go into some of the other groups and comment, but I find myself every time I do that, I get a little bit offended by the ignorance that's out there. And I then try to retreat back in here into Spray Wash Academy. It's really strange, but we've gotten such a great group that's out there.
It's funny you say that, and there's a lot of truth to that, because I know sometimes I'll see a comment and I'll go in and I'll say something, or I'll want to say something, but you look at all the other comments that are in there and you're just like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that and the moderators aren't so let me back up and defend moderators, because sometimes there are so many posts that we just don't see it, and we do rely on you guys to report
absolutely,
or whatever. And I can tell you, there's a lot of times if I go back through the group history, I'll see where Doug deleted somebody's comment or whatever, because sometimes you just see something, you just delete it. I mean, there's no sense in getting into an argument over why it was deleted or whatever, but somebody saying, oh yeah, just use 100% bleach on, the roses and everything's going to be great. I mean, I'm just going to delete that kind of stuff. If it's egregious like that, I mean, I would send them a notice and say, hey, don't post that kind. You're absolutely wrong. And you need to be taken like the plant and property class or whatever. But for the most part, I mean, just deleting those comments and getting rid of them, it's what I feel like is needed in many groups. I just don't see that happening, though. They leave those comments up.
I think you actually have a responsibility. That's why we have a lot of moderators in this too. I mean, TJ's one, Daniel's one. I mean, we have a pile of people that are moderators in SWA, and you and I were talking about a comment that was sent to us earlier, and it was an inference. I didn't know how to take it, but it was basically an inference of Power Wash Store and I guess having Spray Wash Academy Forum. And, that's one of these things that I honestly take a lot of offense to that, because I'd go out of my way now that Tanya and I own a Power Wash Store franchise to not advertise in Spray Wash Academy. And I mean, I've got a direct competitor 90 miles to the west of me, Trudy.
But you did that. You did that before you owned a Power Wash Store.
What's that?
You've been fair before you even owned a Power Wash Store. Now that you own a Power Wash Store, you're even more fair.
Is in our forum. TJ Poor is in our forum. I mean, it's Russ Johnson. I'm one of the guys that tags Russ Johnson, all the time. I tag the other Power Wash Store guys. So I never want to sit there and say, oh yeah, well, I'm turning this into a vendor because of this. Newsflash, I don't have to sell anything. I mean, this is something that I'm doing to enjoy my life, And
at the end of the day, if you look at it, I mean, whether it's each of the Power Wash Store owners, or it's Russ Johnson or Trudy, or everybody has their own little niche that they know more about than the other guys, if you would, right? Or the other gals. So you have to look at that and say, and we talk about this all the time, because like Steve Hill, right? Steve Hill, if you want fleet washing, that's where you go.
You go to Steve Hill.
And when somebody calls me and says, hey, how do I get in touch with Ray about fleet washing? I'm going to say, well, you don't get in touch with Ray.
Yeah, because Ray's never, literally, I have never washed a fleet. I have washed heavy equipment, dozers and things like that, but I have never washed a truck or car or a fleet type vehicle like that, nor would I even claim to understand how to. And that is, Gene, it was probably a debate over the best squeegee, and it very well could have been. I mean, we see this happening all the time, Gene, with guys who waste it. And I'll say it, the mental masturbation of, oh, what's better, 5.6 or 8 gallons per minute? Or should I have, out of my ball valve, should I have the male plug coming out or the female coupler coming out, the female QC coming out? And by the way, for anybody that doesn't know that, it should be the male plug coming out of the end of your ball valve. Anybody who says differently is wrong, and you're a heretic and should be excommunicated from the power washing industry. But people they engage in this discussion on equipment and they want to fight about it, and it's sad and it's really obnoxious because I want you guys to think about this. Anytime you see someone out there engaging in these kind of debates, and I mean fervently in these debates, is this a successful person that's engaging in that debate, or is this a middle of the pack or lower end of the pack person that's engaging in these debates? Because typically the really successful people, we might make a comment and then they're done because I've said my piece and I'm gone. Now, if you want to roll around with the pigs and get dirty, I'll roll around with the pigs and get dirty, but I'm not going to keep going in there and commenting on every comment. First off, I don't care. Second off, I'm too busy. And, you know, what?
I'm pointing at Tony. It's your fault.
And Nick, you know, Nick is a awesome person. And Nick will tell you, Nick's a customer of mine, and I'm trying to help Nick along with fleet washing and telling him, hey, you know, Nick will say, well, he's a Tallahassee customer and he's going to do so awesome at fleet washing. And he'll say, hey, what do I do about this? I'm like, dude, you have already exhausted my knowledge. I am happy to help you however I can, but I've told you everything I know about it. You know, I'm not going to lie to someone, you know, about something. And yeah,
when you said fleet, you were past me.
Yeah. And Wesley, you're right. It literally, people that I've seen that 6 months ago to a year ago were a newbie are now literally offering advice up or
opening stores to sell you equipment.
Stores or building skids, or, you know, I've been in business now for a year and a half and I'm building skids. I find that kind of amazing, to be real honest.
Who was that guy that was selling the wooden skids? I can't remember that.
Oh God,
that was hilarious. Brand new guy to the industry. He's going to sell you a skid on casters. Wait, his skids were on casters.
And he recommended you literally take the skid out of your truck and push it around the house on casters.
On casters in grass.
You're completely missing the idea of a skid right here. It's supposed to sit in your truck and you have enough hose to drag it around because the pump doesn't care how much hose you're pushing this through. And you're right. It is the $99 guys in a lot of ways. And I reached out to a guy that's about 30 miles north of me the other day. And I said, look, I'm seeing you in this forum. And it was another forum and he was asking questions and it was a picture of LP siding. And literally what had happened to the LP, not the LP, I'm sorry, Hardy color match, James Hardy siding. It looks like he probably wetted a little bit too much, got it a little bit too soppy and juicy. You know how it'll keep draining then and dripping. Because I don't think it was necessarily painted all that well because it was holding water up behind it. And it's like, you know, honestly, you're in a forum that have a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about the color being ruined, the paint being ruined, and you've washed it wrong and all this. And it's not the truth. I mean, it's literally, I have seen this probably 100 times in my wash career. And I know as my guys got too much water on it, I need to go back. I need to reactivate it, hit it again, rinse it off real quickly. And it's literally going to clear up.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to back up a little bit, you know, talking about how competitors in this industry, as far as pressure wash stores and all that. Let me ask you something, Ray.
Yep.
Spray Wash Academy and Spray Wash Pro, either one. How many power wash store, franchises have been deleted from either of those two in the last 6 months?
None.
Okay. How many vendors that are competitors to the power wash store have been deleted out of either of the two of those in the past 6 months?
None. Well, you know, in a Spray Wash Pro, we don't have any vendors. We have members. Paul Cassander, just in honorarium, since we started, has been a member of Pro. But, you know, Eric is a member because he's a washer. Nick Weiss is a member because he's a washer, you know. But there's other guys, Eddie and Dave and Christy.
Because he's a watcher. I mean, yeah. Right.
And,
but that's my point. Whoever the person that made that comment is just so far out, in the back. So I will even go to say, since the creation of Spray Wash Academy, how many vendors have been?
The only vendors that have ever been deleted are the ones who have slipped in there and then they spam every group. Hey, for a professional logo, call me. Or, hey, have you tried oxygenated something, blah, 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 on every post? Yep. And Doug, if I should suddenly die, it is literally because Tanya's laptop, I didn't plug it in and it's giving me a low battery. In fact, this is a good time for us to sign off.
Yeah. We're an hour and 20 minutes in.
We love the competition and we love for me, it truly is. I give a crap about there's probably been a dozen people that have called me and I'm sitting there, they're giving me their address. I'm like, have you called Eric and Lisa? Well, no, but I follow you online. You realize Eric and Lisa are in
2 blocks away from you,
75 miles from you. It's going to cost me $50 to get this to you. It's going to cost them $20, and I guarantee you they have it in stock. Really? Yes. Call them.
Yeah. Okay. So I had a comment to me the other day, and I want to address this real quick before your battery dies, about you didn't have a piece of equipment that Eric and Lisa did have.
Right.
And so you guys have to remember too that each store is individually owned and operated, and inventories in each one. And at some point, especially with inventory right now, and I'm just going to throw Eric and Lisa under the bus because, well, they're not on here to defend themselves. But anyhow, Eric and Lisa may have ordered a bunch of equipment 6 months ago that now has come in, and now they have it on their shelves, where Ray didn't have that, right? And so now you have to keep that in mind with each store and each location. They all have their own inventory. They all have their own pricing structure, if you would. Everything is independent of each other, but they all work together for the common good of everybody. And like I said, each one has their own niche that they deal with and independently. So I see that Ray has dropped off. Let's kick him out of here. Let's get rid of him. There we go. Done, gone. I'm glad that guy is gone. I don't like him anyhow. He's just a misfit. Anyhow, it's a great time to sign off. Let me go over the last couple of comments here. Yeah, Ray sent me all the different stores in town to find stuff at a better price. When you're getting the guy sending you to different locations because, hey, you know what? I sell the exact same product as this, and but you can get it over there at a better price. I mean, that's complete honesty, and that's who I want to deal with. Let's see. Facebook user says inventory can be area specific. Same thing with washing and everything else. Everything can be pricing. When you guys are looking online and you see, well, that guy's washing for that, how's he catching that price? Look at where he's at, and that all of that depends. Mr. Charlie, peace, brother. Anthony says, I like meeting local competition. You should meet all of your local competitors that are willing to meet with you. It's nice to know their capabilities and work ethic to team up with and throw work to you that they can't handle. Absolutely. The only competitor that you really have is you. And I mean that wholeheartedly. So reach out to your local competitors and be with them. Your local competitors can help you grow your business, whether you understand that or not. And when you get to the point that you understand that, it's a whole different ball game out there. They can refer business to you. You can refer business to them. It gains both of you respect. It's a great thing to do. I completely agree. And this is a great way to end it. Wesley says he talks too much. You know what? That's why his computer crapped out on him, and we don't need him here anyhow. And of course, you all know that I'm joking. Love the guy to death. Anyhow, and remember, Ray won't be here next week. I will probably get some sort of an attorney in here is what I'm trying to shoot for phone call that I'm going to have to take eventually here real quick. So I'll cut this off. So I'm going to try to get an attorney in here for either one of two things, either for employees dealing with employee issues or the other one, which I've forgotten. But anyhow, I'm going to try to get an attorney in here for next week for the interview process. So one last one here, and then I'm going to get out of here. I see new guys and always wave and stop and say hi when I can. Have a great night. Agreed, and you should. If you see a new guy, stop in, talk to him. Don't be arrogant. Just reach out to him. Let him dictate the conversation and how it goes, whether it's positive or negative. And it's just the best thing to do for the industry and for your local business. Who cares? If they're not receptive, it's on them anyhow. Peace, y'all. Appreciate it, and see you next week.